quarry. By no one. When I was a foal living in the outskirts of Dice, I used to hunt radish roaches in ruined buildings. When those got too easy, I moved out to scorpions in the tunnels underneath the city. I knew my calling. Of course, I couldn't stay hunting small game in the city. I had to go out to conquer the wasteland. For the most part, I did a good job, clearing out geckos to the north and grasshopper anglers in the west. I even managed to take out a few young land sharks when a village was worried they were trying to move out of their canyon nests. What a right mess that would have been. So, when I was contacted by Roy Mustang to head down to a newly established hellhound den based in an old quarry to kidnap a few cubs for some special training, I jumped at the chance. I never really heard of a hellhound before, because apparently they were native to Equestria to the north, and figured I'd taken on worse things in my tenure. I was wrong. I barely made it a couple hundred meters into the quarry before I felt a slight rumbling in the ground. I didn't know what it was, but something in my gut told me to jump out of the way. Thanks to Leslie, I did. The great brown beast tore out of the ground in a flurry of dirt and stones so fast and hard, even jumping away couldn't save my tail from being severed. "Pony, go away!" it roared as I backed up. Pow, pow, pow! My 308 caliber rifle cycled through its entire magazine. My spread grew larger and larger as each bullet slanted the creature's chest. This was going to be easier than expected, until the hellhound looked down his wounded chest for only half a second before charging at me. So much for an easy job. The hellhound was catching up. I could hear its claws scraping across the ground behind me. I had to think quick. Luckily, I was a unicorn, so I had a whole bag of tricks. I squeezed my eyes tight and kaboom! An old trick I learned when I was young. A simple loud burst of sound and light. I used it as a distraction before, but as I got better at it, I found it worked best for incapacitating tricky beasts. A touch of genius, you might say. I didn't bother looking back at the creature or trying to shoot through. It was clearly too tough for my rifle, and I wasn't confident my trick would hold it off for long. My eyes scanned the quarry quickly. Rocks, 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 rock crusher, more rocks. Ah, a crane! I charged toward it, hoping to climb up to the top and get something resembling the high ground. From there I could change to my more potent AP ammo and rain death from on high. I might have overestimated the difficulty of the mission, but I was nothing if not resourceful, so success was still inevitable. I reached the massive crane, and when I looked back, the hellhound was just starting to shake away the effects of my spell. It wasn't the only spell I knew, of course. I quickly concentrated to teleport to the top of the operator's cabin of the crane. Describing teleportation is really kind of difficult. Sort of like jumping with your mind. I suppose you have to be a unicorn to understand. From there, I made my way out to last, all the while reloading my 38, and with some sweet armor-piercing rounds. By the time I reached the top of the damnable hellhound, was already climbing out the cabin towards the last I was perched precariously on. I weighed my options quickly. I could probably take out the creature from where I was, but if I climbed up here, my limited teleportation skills wouldn't make me anywhere safe. I also wondered if maybe the climbing up here was a bad idea, but quickly abolished the notion from my mind. I decided to use another flashbang to slow it down. While I was a master of many spells, I didn't have the endurance to cast many in such a short period, and if there were more of these creatures nearby, I would want to be as powerful as possible. I decided that safety now was a much better possibility than safety later. Closing my eyes, I unleashed another burst. The lat shook beneath me, forcing me to open my eyes and brace myself. With a startled gasp, I looked down to see the hellhound, half blind and roaring in pain, swinging its gigantic claws in a panic towards the bars that were keeping me afloat. With seemingly effortless ease, the creature severed the scaffolding from the cabin, and suddenly I was flying. I always wondered what it was like to be a Pegasi. I barely had time to react. The rocky ground came closer, my heart in my throat. For a moment, I lost all confidence. Only for a moment. My horn glowed a magnificent purple. Below me, I cast one of my patented shield spells. A straight plane of glowing magic appeared below me. Not parallel to the ground, because that would kill me sooner, but diagonal, so when I hit, I would FUCK! I screamed in infantility as I slammed the shield shoulder first. Before I had time or withdrawal to find more curse words, I slid down the plane and landed in a heap in the dirt. A large pointed rock stabbing me in the spine. Fuck! I repeated, trying to ignore my throbbing shoulder and back. Okay, maybe I was just a little overconfident. I had setbacks before. Just ignore the pain and the creature roared. I didn't even bother swearing again. I just scrambled to my feet and took off like a mad pony. When I was a colt, I always won my childhood races. But my unusual speed didn't seem to be as useful as I would have liked. The damnable beast was simply too big, and his strides were far longer than my own. I was catching up. I had to think of something. There, the answer to my problems. The hellhounds had chosen a quarry, and that would be their undoing. There in the middle of the gray excavation site was a rock-crushing machine. It had 2 conveyor belts leading up to one either direction. In the past, conveyor belt used to carry rocks up to be dumped into the top of the crusher, but now it was just carrying me. I managed to reach the top in record time. Quickly turned around to see the hellhound precariously close behind me. Nervously, I looked up to see the machines going maw far below, ready to swallow me whole if I messed up. But I wouldn't mess up. I had this. Just one more spell. One more. My horn started getting tired. I could feel my horn burning insides from the sheer amount of spells I had already used. All I needed to win was one more. One more, and I had this. The hellhound lunged at me, flying through the air. A weaker pony would have given up, but I just focused on my horn. I advanced and reappeared on the conveyor belt, and I decided to rock crusher, confident in my victory. The hellhound screeched, but without me there to stop him, he went soaring into the metal machine's innards. Now all I had to do was push the on button, and victory would be mine. Zap! Something shot into my hot slung to my chest. I stumbled for a second, trying to steady myself. When one of my hooves slipped off the narrow conveyor belt, I felt myself falling. My jaw slammed onto the belt. I flipped head over heels off. I didn't have time to cast a shield spell this time. I hit the ground. So much pain, I couldn't even swear. I couldn't think. All I could do was gasp for air. All I could think of was what the fuck hit me. The answer became as obvious a second later, when a second hellhound appeared in my blurry vision, blocking out the clouds above. In its massive claw was a Mew rifle. My telekinesis searched for my rifle, but was nowhere to be found. I wasn't sure where I lost it. The dog bared its teeth in a macabre imitation of a smile. Its gun was pointed at my head. Oh, my horn lit up. That's one last spell. I just needed one last spell. I could do it. They were just hellhounds, and I was the best hunter in these. Just a setback. The green ball magic slanted my shield wall, shaking but not dispersing it. I could still win. I had magic, and the hellhound slammed his claw through my shield, shredding it into a wisp of purple. Oh, I said when I realized the creature's claw impaled in my torso. It didn't hurt. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel anything but inevitability. The hellhound pointed its Mew at my head one more time. When it pulled the trigger, all I wondered if maybe ponies were never meant to be hunters. Maybe we were the prey, not the predators. This program brought to you by Predators Prey. I don't know if you should watch it. I'm just going for a sponsorship.